Welcome to South Bend, the site for this very major and crucial Big Ten showdown between the Texas Longhorns and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. I'm David Roy, and in the booth with me tonight, as always, is the commissioner of the CFSL, Mike Peters. And Mike, these two teams come in and both really looking to make a claim for the Big Ten throne here tonight.
Well, a win here would definitely put them in the right direction. Notre Dame's already 2-1 in the Big Ten, and a boost to 3-1 definitely puts the ball in their court. Meanwhile, Texas 1-1 in the Big Ten. They want to get to 2-1 and keep their Big Ten title hopes alive. Big game for both of these teams.
A big return for Dijon Swan as he's pushed out of bounds at the Notre Dame 44 already.
Well, I look to see Dijon Swan not only active in the return game, but active in this high attack passing game.
Read option keeper Filio Asiata to open things up, and he will go down for a loss, courtesy of the walk-on.
Well, I'll be honest, if you told me that they were going to start off with a read option in this game, I would have told you were crazy. Not what I was expecting to see there from Notre Dame, as I expect both of these quarterbacks to come out slinging it.
Let's see if they do that. Here is Asiata, currently in the midst of his best season during his time in the CFSL, as he goes to a draw play here for Caden St. III, and he's going to pick up the yardage lost by Asiata on first down.
Maybe a little bit of possum playing here for Notre Dame. I don't expect that they're going to keep running the ball all game long. They might be trying to set up Texas or just feel them out for their defensive calls.
Texas showing blitz as Asiata dancing in the pocket. Running out of time, and pressure brings him down. It's a loss of 6 for Asiata, courtesy of the walk-on Andrew Scott.
Well, it was really good coverage downfield by Texas. Just nobody open, and Asiata's moving to his right, trying to find somebody open. Actually created a little bit of a lane there for Scott to get in there, and a great job by the Texas defense to hold Notre Dame on a 3-and-out on the first drive.
And after a great return by Dijon Swan, and so now we turn our sights to this Texas offense, and a decent punt return here for Scooby Lewis. But Mike, Clayton Denny currently in the midst of one of his better seasons, and in part he's got weapons like Ray Conley out there.
Well, it's his first season, so it's got to be in the midst of his better season, but he's only about 400 yards short of holding the record for most passing yards in his first 5 games to start the season. We'll see if he can get that tonight.
He's going to start off with a laser over the middle, and Ray Conley early on here picking up 12.
Well, and Conley is only 5 touchdowns away from tying Jared Tatonis for the all-time touchdown leader list in receiving.
And he throwing right side, and that pass caught and picking up a first down. That's a tight end, Carson Meeks.
This is kind of what I expected to see from Notre Dame when they started out, and they were running the ball on the first couple of drives. Texas not playing that game. They're coming out slinging it.
Still sad as they've crossed midfield, and it's a handoff for Taraj Walker, who has a nice lane for him to pick up 13.
Well, they come out passing on the first couple of plays, and then they hand it off to Taraj Walker there. I like what Texas is doing a lot more than what I did from Notre Dame. Obviously, it's just the first drive of the game, but Texas coming out wanting to establish their passing game and using the run a little bit to keep Notre Dame off balance.
Spotted here at the 30, and Denny with a play fake. Rolling to his right, throwing off his back foot, and that one at the feet of Scooby Lewis at 2nd and 10.
Yeah, the quarterback coaches are going to tell you never do that. Nothing good can ever come from that. You risk a pick as much as you do a completion. Just throw that one away.
The gun, Denny, on 2nd down. Steps up, throws that one, Lord Helix, down to the 6-yard line.
What a dart there by Clayton Denny as he finds Helix open on the left. Good job to settle down inside of the zone coverage. Puts a little double move on there, creates some separation for himself, and gets in front of Zeus Williams. 1st and goal here for Texas. Notre Dame's defense needs to come up big.
Clayton Denny full wide on the field, trips bottom of your screen with Ray Conley, the furthest receiver out wide, is Denny throwing, and that's Ray Conley for the touchdown.
Well, there he is. Now he's only 4 away from tying Jared Tatonis for #1 all-time in touchdown receptions. Having a big season already, as that's his 7th receiving touchdown of the season. And Texas does probably exactly what they wanted to. They move the ball down the field with ease, and they put the early pressure on Fighting Irish here at home.
And Mike, you mentioned on that first drive for Notre Dame that it felt maybe like a setup drive for this second drive here for Notre Dame.
Well, we'll see. I expect them to throw the ball quite a bit tonight. As we mentioned, Dijon Swan out there on the return, 44 yards. I suspect that was a little bit of setup from Notre Dame. I think they want to throw it all game long, and I think they're going to come out throwing it here on this drive.
And Texas defense on that opening drive kind of pushed this Notre Dame offense backwards, -6 yards for that Fighting Irish on their opening drive. Ball spot here from the right hash at 41. They're running the speed option, and Asaita forced to keep it. He's only going to get a couple.
Well, they went read option to start the last drive. Now they go speed. I don't really understand this play calling here from Notre Dame. I mean, I know you want to keep them off balance, and I know Texas got a good defense, but I don't understand what they're doing here early on.
Asaita to throw, setting up halfback screen to the short side, and that's Clayton Saint the third, picking up 4 yards in half the distance needed for the first down.
We've seen Clayton Saint the third be pretty good on the halfback screens like that, and so he does a decent job there picking up 4. You're just not going to get a whole lot of yards on those against this Texas defense unless you catch them in an all-out blitz, but they got halfway to the first down marker, and we'll see if they can convert.
Asaita, halfback screen, short side again, and he's forced to throw that one away. So, Mike, another 3 and out for Notre Dame early on here, and as you said, still surprising.
Yeah, a little concerning, the play calling that Notre Dame has started with. I don't mind it as much in the first drive. Like I said, you're maybe trying to set something up. I don't understand it there on that drive, and you're really in danger with as well as Texas was able to move the ball in their first drive. You're in danger of falling behind 2 scores before you even get your first down.
Texas really moved the ball pretty quickly that opening drive, and it only spanned a total of 6 plays for the Longhorns as they put points on the board, and they're looking to do that here again as Texas also seeking their first win in their history against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. As Denny to throw short to the left side for Meeks.
I think if you told most people that didn't know any better that Notre Dame was undefeated against Texas and the Longhorns had never gotten a win against them, they'd think you were crazy, but that is indeed the situation that the Longhorns find themselves in.
Denny to throw here, and down he goes. Hawkins coming through for the sack.
Big sack there by Jerome Hawkins. As he comes through, they sent too many guys, and Texas didn't have enough blockers. Hawkins gets in there with his second sack of the season, and it forces the long 3rd and 12. So Notre Dame's defense did what they needed to. Now they got to get him off the field.
Pistol set here for Clayton Denny as he looks to convert a long 3rd down, and Denny dancing, throwing to the right sideline. Lord Helix for a gain of 16.
Notre Dame's going to figure out that they can't leave that much time for Clayton Denny. And as we said, he's been one of the most prolific passers we've ever seen to start his career. And if you give him time back there to throw, especially on a long 3rd down, he's likely to find somebody, especially with all the weapons that he has at receiver.
Lord Helix coming up with the grab there on the season. 27 catches for him, 480 yards. And 6 receiving touchdowns. Denny to throw again. That one into double coverage, and as you might expect, the pass incomplete.
Well, Shoto Pence in coverage there and does a good job of hitting him initially or right away and popping that one loose.
Hawkins in coverage as well as Denny here to throw again. Quick pass for Taraj Walker, and Walker met by Shoto Pence and brought down by Alistair Jericho, but Taraj Walker does convert.
Yeah, too much space there. They played too soft with the zone coverage, and they were playing them behind the first down marker, and Walker had plenty of room to pick up that first.
Play fake, Denny. Quick throw to the middle, and that's a tight end. Meeks picking up 9 yards, and Shoto Pence there in coverage, but Mike, again, it's Texas offense moving effectively.
Yeah, they're giving themselves just a little bit of room there on that play, but Denny doing a good job of finding the receiver and putting it in there right where he can catch it.
Play fake, Denny taking a shot. He wants the end zone, and Lord Helix steps out of bounds at the 6, but it's a gain of 31.
I think they might review this. I don't know if his right foot was out of bounds. I know he had one in, but I don't know if the other one was out first. Hard to say from that angle. It doesn't look like they're going to review it. So I guess they're going to give that one to Texas, and another 1st and goal here for the Longhorns.
This time ball spotted at the 7, and that pass, the longest play of the night for this Texas offense, and for both teams really, is Denny throwing short to Raj Walker, and he'll advance this down inside the 5.
And Texas just has a much better game plan to start out this game with moving the ball. And if they go up 14-0 here, Notre Dame, granted, they have the firepower to come back, but it's not a spot you want to start out in.
Denny to throw again. Touchdown, Carson Meeks.
Meeks wide open there over the middle, just a little stick round, and they find him there for the touchdown. And again, 2 prolific drives there for the Longhorns. Going to put them up 2 touchdowns. And Notre Dame, who hasn't even gotten a first down, is already staring up, down by 14 here from the home crowd.
Well, and Mike Clayton Denny, you talk about prolific. He has been prolific throughout these first few games, and continuing that here tonight. 11 of 13, over 100 yards passing, and 2 touchdown passes for him here so far.
Yeah, we're just barely over the halfway mark of the first quarter, so we'll see if he can put together another one of those big games, as we'll see Swan here on the return. Notre Dame's really going to have to look to the pass game. I don't know why they haven't really done it on their first 2 drives, but they're going to need to get that pass game going. Leo Asaita has been very good here early on to start the season. He's gone over 500 yards once. He went over 450 last week. They got to use him more, and they haven't yet so far.
Swan single receiver bottom of your screen with all kinds of cushion. And Asaita going to roll away from that side, rolling right, throwing that side, and the pass caught on the sideline by Pearson Gillum. It's a gain of 14, the longest play of the night for Notre Dame.
Yeah, well, they hadn't had a first down coming into this, so they do a good job there getting it. We're going to have to see more of that. But again, you're just starting in a 2-score hole.
Wide receiver screen for Dijon Swan, and Swan fighting there on the boundary to get 3.
Well, if you're going to throw a screen pass there to somebody that you hope to break a tackle, he's the guy. Just wasn't able to fight out of that one.
Asaita, play fake. Throwing a little crossing pattern there for Alistair Kai, and for the first time tonight, Notre Dame crosses midfield.
Well, they're looking good, and this is what I would have hoped to have seen from them on their first drive, but now maybe those first 2 drives set up Texas. Unfortunately, their defense wasn't really prepared for this start.
Texas coming with a blitz here for Asaita, who fires a laser in the direction of Swan, but Zachary White's there to bat it away.
And I think Swan dropped that one. We talked about it before. He hasn't dropped many passes, only 6 in his career. I think he might get credit for a drop there.
Halfback screen to the short side, and Kane St. III with some blocking. That'll help him get half the distance in for a first down. It's 3rd and 5 here.
It's the 3rd time we've seen this halfback screen on 3 drives, and I don't love that there, although they get halfway to the first down marker, which they did on the last time they ran it. But I would definitely like to see them pushing the ball further downfield.
They're going to empty out the backfield here, and Asaita with a blitz in his face. Floating that one to the sideline and nearly picking it off was Cavelli, but Notre Dame going to have to punt again.
I thought that was Terrence Top, but you're right, it might have been Cavelli. Top needs 2 interceptions now to tie Ollie P. Peters for the most all time. And we'll see if he comes away with one, but Notre Dame really struggling offensively here.
That punt gets shanked, so it'll be interesting to see where they spot it. But, Mike, you look at the Texas offense, and it's about what you expected. The Longhorns airing it out.
Well, they're the #1 offense in the league coming into this one, averaging 513 yards per game, 429.5 passing, which is also first.
Got 130 through the air here tonight. Going to add to that total with a little dump off here for the walk-on Terry Johnston, who will get 6.
Hey, when you got a bunch of star-level receivers on the outside, why not just check it down to your fullback?
That's the set. Denny going to set up a halfback screen of his own for Taraj Walker, and Walker had some room, but ends up taking a really big shot there from Pharaoh Thomas, and that sets up 3rd and 3.
Yeah, I'm with you. I thought he had some room going to the inside. He stays outside for some reason. I don't know why, but a mistake there to some degree, and it's going to set up a 3rd down, but still a short 3rd down, and one that Texas has to feel pretty confident that they can convert.
Jackson Stone, actually, the one who came up and made the big hit and setting up this 3rd and 3 from the Texas 31, and from the left hash, and a blitz. Nearly got home, but Denny able to find Helix for 6 yards.
They got great pressure up the middle there, and Denny does an excellent job of finding his quick check there and gets the completion and moves the chains.
Denny closing in on 150 through the air tonight as he's going to go underneath there, and Scooby Lewis still fighting, and he'll pick up 7 yards, and that's 2nd and 3.
Zeus Williams, the first guy in there, wasn't able to bring him down. Alistair Jericho struggled with him. You're already down 14-0. You're going to have to make tackles. And Notre Dame struggling both sides of the ball right now.
Denny to throw with a blitz in his face, and he's going to check it down for Taraj Walker, who breaks one. And Walker down inside the Notre Dame 45-yard line.
Did Notre Dame not get the memo that this was a crucial Big Ten game? I'm not quite sure what's going on. Zeus Williams looks like he'd rather be at home in quarantine right now than tackling these Texas receivers.
Are we sure that Notre Dame is even aware that Texas is part of the Big Ten now?
They might not be. Might have thought this was non-conference.
Quick throw by Denny, and he'll find Scooby Lewis for another 7-yard gain here early on. And Mike, this Texas offense is just rolling.
They are, and they're taking short, they're taking deep, they're taking checkdowns, they're going left, they're going right, they're going over middle. They're just really keeping the Notre Dame defense on their toes, and Denny being very efficient right now.
Wide receiver screen there for Lord Helix, and it will cost a yard as Pharaoh Thomas was there with the airtight coverage.
Yeah, I didn't really like that one. Scooby Lewis tried to create a little bit of a pick there, and Pharaoh Thomas just wasn't giving up any ground, so good job there by the Notre Dame defense. Maybe the first time we said that tonight.
It's the 8th play of the current drive, and Texas yet to come up with a play of 10-plus yards here. Is Denny going to float this one to the right side, and there's a tight end Meeks for a gain of 6. That is how we end the first quarter. Texas up 14-0 over the Fighting Irish. But will Notre Dame get a turnover or something to turn things around? Stick around, find out. Start of the second quarter, and it's an empty backfield here for Clayton. Denny is Taraj Walker, the motion man. Denny going to check it down to him, and Walker takes a shot from Minka Solo after a gain of 3.
I think the quarterback coach may need to re-clarify with Clayton Denny what the purpose of a pump fake is. It's to make the defense bite in the direction of your fake. You don't want to pump fake to the receiver and then throw it to that same receiver because you already got the defense moving in that direction.
Well, now, Mike, we are approaching the 10th play of this current drive here for the Longhorns, which is the longest drive of the night, and it's another empty backfield set due to the motion of Walker, who makes the catch on the sideline to pick up 2.
Well, and again, it's a manageable third down. Notre Dame hasn't been able to get Texas off the field on the third down yet. In 3rd and 5, it's a little bit better than the 3rd and 3 they had last time, but still very manageable here for Texas.
Denny to throw, halfback screen, left side, Taraj Walker trying to outrun the defense, and he's not going to get there, only picking up 1, and so, Mike, this defense finally gets a stop.
Well, I know Alistair Jericho was looking up at him as Taraj Walker didn't want to go down, and he's like, please, God, touchdown, Jesus, make him fall, and he did, and they forced the field goal.
Gunnar Graham from 43 yards out, and he will deliver, so an early 17-point lead for the Longhorns.
Yeah, Texas is doing everything they need to. Now, Notre Dame maybe gets a little bit of momentum there because they got to stop, and they held them to the field goal. But they're still down 3 scores, and I think it's more crucial than anything right now that Notre Dame puts together a good drive. They started off well in the last drive. They got to put a full drive together here, and they really need to get 7 and chip away at this lead.
4th drive of the night for Notre Dame is Asaita, quick throw to the left side, and that's Dexter Jackson picking up the first down.
I remember Notre Dame being part of a game that was a 28-point comeback. I don't remember if they won that. I don't remember if it was Auburn did it against them or if they did it against Tennessee. But I seem to remember Notre Dame being part of a 28-point comeback. Although the 28-point comeback didn't win, I'm sure Notre Dame doesn't want to find themselves in that situation.
Asaita with all day to throw, and he finally just checks it down to the tight end, Alistair Kai, and it only gets 3 yards. And Mike, that's just a sign of great coverage, isn't it?
Oh, yes. Anytime the quarterback sits back in the pocket for 10 seconds, it's great coverage downfield. Unfortunately, they didn't have much room to move it even after the check down.
Asaita to throw with pressure coming, and he's going to check that one down, but dropping that was Gillum, and now a 3rd and 7 situation for the Fighting Irish.
What we haven't really seen from Notre Dame is any kind of passes over the middle. It'd be a perfect time for a post route here against this too high defense.
Going to go halfback screen, and Asaita just lucky to get that out of his hands and avoid the sack. But Mike, Notre Dame yet to convert on 3rd downs, and they'll punt again.
That was the walk-on Andrew Scott getting in there again. And, you know, that's part of the screen is you let those defensive linemen come in untouched because you try to set up the blockers outside. But sometimes they get through there too quick, which makes it a little bit of a risky play call.
Scooby Lewis going to get this one out to the 38. And so, Mike, at this point, Texas is looking to try and make this such a sizable lead that Notre Dame's going to be in a tough spot.
Yeah, from my memory, we might need to put this in the record book. Maybe that's a project we could do this weekend or this offseason, but I only remember 21-point comebacks that were completed and the teams won. I don't remember anything bigger than that. I know we've had 24-point comebacks, but I don't think they won. If Notre Dame falls behind here, historically, they have almost no shot of coming back.
See if this Notre Dame defense can prevent that from happening as the walk-on Terry Johnston, the power he shows to pick up 8 yards and move the chains.
I don't know if I clarified it. If they fall behind by 24, they have almost no shot, at least historically. Now, anything's possible. I suspect at some point we're going to see somebody come back from 28 and win, but it just doesn't happen very often.
That pass there from Ray Conley picks up 2, and I think the game you're referring to, I have a feeling that was against Tennessee. I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure it was 28 against Tennessee, Notre Dame. They came back. They wound up losing that game in overtime, if I remember correctly. But that is something that we need to get in the history portion of the website.
So I remember that game was a very high-scoring affair as Lord Helix picking up 15 yards with that pass, and Clayton Denny showing no signs of slowing down.
26 to 28. Now, 212, he's not necessarily like bombing it downfield, but he's just being as efficient as he possibly can. Going back to that comeback, if I remember correctly, Ty White was still here, so it probably was season 3 or season 4. And if I remember correctly, they tied it at the end, went to overtime, wound up and losing in overtime. So they did come back from 28, but they didn't complete it. But again, wasted pass there by Denny. Their defense needs to get a stop. They don't want to fall. 17 is very manageable, but they just haven't done anything on offense. They got to slow down this Texas offense.
Texas very much in field goal range here, and it's only 2nd and 10 as Denny throwing in the middle, and that's Lord Helix getting it down inside the red zone.
Well, even when they're playing man coverage like they do there's still just enough separation, and Denny's so accurate with his passes that he's completing it. Good coverage there by Stone, but it's hard to beat that.
Stone 6 tackles a night as Denny going short there for the tight end Meeks. He'll pick up 4, and so Mike, after that quick opening drive, Texas has now gone to, we're going to make long drives here with a quick passing game.
Well, I think they're just being smart right now. They don't want to take any unnecessary risks, and it's working out for them.
Denny to throw. The left side, and having to come back for that one was Meeks. He'll only get 3 yards there, and took a wallet from the Notre Dame defense.
If I remember correctly, Texas has never given up a 21-point lead. Horns could probably correct me on that if I'm wrong, but I think they feel pretty comfortable up 17 here, even though they're on the road. And even a field goal here, I think they feel like they're in good shape. So like I said, they're just not taking any unnecessary risks right now.
Denny to throw. Out into the flats as Taraj Walker, and he'll bounce off of Pharaoh Thomas and get bounced out of bounds. So the Notre Dame defense holds, but Texas, Mike, they're looking like they're going to come away with points.
Yeah, I would be surprised if they missed this one, although it's from the right hash, so it's not the easiest kick, and especially at this sharp angle.
It's 26 yards away, but Gunnar Graham delivers, and Mike, halfway through the second quarter, Texas is up by 20.
Yeah, I don't think many people expected this. Nighthawks and Chad and keep saying that he planned for this type of game and this and that. I don't think he planned to be behind by 3 scores going into the half.
Take this opportunity to give a shout out to everybody in YouTube live chat here. Georgia Fan, Nighthawk, Howard Cook, Joshua Williams, Lord Helix, Devin Davis, Russell Brazel, Shane, Dat Dude, and I saw Matt, I saw Neil in here earlier, and I'm pretty sure I saw Horns as well. And anybody I miss, I apologize, as Notre Dame not starting this drive the way they want to.
No, their play calling has just lacked a lot of creativity. It's a lot of checkdowns and a lot of outside passes. They haven't really tested this over the middle. And again, they've got some space between the deep coverage here. We'll see if they take a shot at it.
Asaita to throw, and he'll throw it short. That's Alistair Kai. He'll get 4 yards, and Mike, the Notre Dame offense, I mean, they're playing conservatively.
Well, and they threw in the double coverage there. I didn't see what else was open. I saw that, pretty quick. He went underneath, but it's just not the most creative play calling.
That pass to the right side, and Dexter Jackson coming back for it. Like, that is the first conversion on third down for this Fighting Irish offense here tonight.
Well, they finally went with something a little bit different than a check down, and so that helps. And I get it. These corners are pretty good. It looks like they've got a cover two or a two-man look. We'll see if Swan gets involved.
Asaita threading that one in for Dexter Jackson. He'll get 8 with Howard Cook draped over him.
Yeah, it was cover 2, and Dijon Swan had a free release on the outside, and I know the safety wasn't over the top. That was probably 6, but Asaita just didn't want to go to it.
Single back set here. Asaita with the Texas defense creeping into the box. A little blitz and a quick throw for the walk-on. They'll get out to the Texas 40.
Yeah, not sure that Notre Dame understands that they're behind by 3 scores here because they're playing a ball control offense. And I get it, you want to move the ball down the field and get some points out of this, but I don't know if they can sustain those drives.
Closing in on this being the longest drive that Notre Dame's offense has been able to sustain as that pass dropped by Pearson Gillum, and that brings us to 2nd and 10.
Well, the other thing that it does is it forces you to go a little bit deeper than you want to. You know, it's one thing when you pick up 3-4 yards a game, but when you get a no gain like that, now you have to force yourself to get outside of your comfort zone.
7th play of the drive, and that pass threaded in for Dijon Swan. A gain of 13 as Swan picks up his 2nd grab of the night.
Well, that was intended to be a 2 or 3 yard gain because it was a slant route. He just held on to it and waited for him to cross the field and wind up getting 10 out of it.
And off, Kane St. III bouncing around, and he'll pick up a couple as that is the 9th play of the drive and the longest that Notre Dame has come up with.
Well, I think this just goes to show how difficult it can be to game plan in this league because no matter how many sims you run, you can't account for what the defense is going to do, and I don't think Notre Dame expected this from the defense, and it's showing in their play calling.
Asaita throwing that one, and a little dig route there for Swan, gets 9 as Notre Dame takes the timeout.
Well, to their credit, they're moving the ball well here, and they're taking time off the clock, and maybe that's by design. They want to score and not give Texas much time, but it's not the prettiest.
Although that pitch was pretty, and Caden St. III got ran down by Howard Cook, stopping him at the 4. Single back set, 2 tight ends. One of them in motion to set up as a fullback, and it's a 5-step drop. Asaita floating left, and that pass intercepted in the end zone. And I cannot tell from this range who picked it off.
I think it was Cavelli. No, it wasn't.
It was
it was Howard Cook. I thought it was 14. I was like, there's not a 14 on this team. Howard Cook getting back there and showing off his hands, getting his first pick. Thrown into the – something's not right with Asaita tonight.
Asaita just threw his 4th interception, and sudden change. There's a shot downfield, and that pass intercepted. Jackson Stone running it back, and he's going to be stopped at the Texas 42.
That's Jackson Stone's 9th career interception. He's been pretty effective at that. He moves up the tied for 4th all-time in career interceptions with Darius Bowman. So nice job there. They throw the pick, but Stone, great coverage. Texas takes a shot. Really wanted to put the game away there, but great job in coverage there by Jackson Stone.
They're actually going to spot this at the 41, and Notre Dame with a timeout and 1:11 to play in the half, looking for points. As Asaita all day finally finds a man downfield. That's Gillum, who gets dropped at the 4.
Well, it didn't look good for Notre Dame, but they get the pick and then a nice play there on 1st down, and they got a 1st to go. They really got to convert here, and even if that means you got to hand it off to Caden St. III to avoid turning it over, you got to do something here to punch this one in the end zone.
Longest play of the night by this Notre Dame offense, picking up 37 yards to advance down here and give them 1st and goal. It's only their 2nd trip into the red zone. They're looking to fare better than their last trip down here, which ended in a pick as Caden St. III scoring for the Fighting Irish.
I was a little concerned that they weren't going to give him a touchdown, as we've seen that a few times this week. But they do give it to him. Saints' 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. And so despite the turnover in the end zone just a few plays before, Notre Dame gets the touchdown they were looking for and brings this within a 2-score game.
Quick drive there for the Fighting Irish, and they're able to come away with their 1st points of the game. But Mike, if you told me that wasn't going to happen until inside a minute of the 2nd quarter, I might have laughed at you.
Well, if you did tell me that, I would tell you that Notre Dame's 100% going to lose. But they've got themselves within 13 points. It's definitely a manageable game at this point. I think the first thing they got to do is make sure that they don't allow any points here on this drive, and then they're going to have to come out in the second half and play with a little bit more fire than we've seen here in the first half.
The touchback, the ball comes out to the 25, and Denny going to open up with a play fake and a quick throw to the right sideline for Lord Helix, who is hit by Stone out of bounds, gain of 14.
Well, we've talked about how young quarterbacks can often go into a shell after they throw a turnover. We've seen from Clayton Denny so far this season. He's not one of them. He's going to come out and keep slinging it.
35 passes, only 2 runs by this Texas offense as Denny dancing in the pocket, and down he goes, sacked for a loss of 8.
I thought that was Shane Razorback for a second coming off the edge, but it was the walk-on Jack Hall getting the sack.
On second down as the timeout was called, and Denny, quick throw, short underneath for Taraj Walker. He'll pick up 9, so half the distance they needed to bring up 3rd and 9.
Well, so far the sack has been exactly what the doctor ordered. The key now, though, is to get Texas off the field, and they've only been able to do it 2 out of the 5 times they've had a chance tonight.
Denny from the pistol, looking, swinging it out for Taraj Walker to the left side, and he's going to lose 4 yards there. Very costly play for the Texas offense. Not what they wanted to end the half.
Well, they didn't want to turn it over, and it was good coverage downfield by Notre Dame. So Notre Dame takes their last time out, and they're going to have at least 1 or 2 shots here at the end zone.
So Texas punting for the first time here tonight. Dijon Swan going to bring this out to zone 40. And so, Mike, as you said, a few shots here for Asaita, likely in the direction of Dijon Swan.
Well, if they're smart, they would. He's going to be single coverage up on the top, although they're playing off. It looks like they've got the backup Harvey Bickle on him.
Asaita gets a one-man rush, and he's going to float it underneath, and batting that away was Zachary White.
Yeah, Asaita, he's looked so good this season. He was actually in the midseason awards for Offensive Player of the Year, and he just does not look right. Now he's got 1 shot of throwing it deep.
Here's to throw. Here's the shot. And he's got Swan, but it's underthrown, and that pass incomplete. So as we head to half, Texas and their defense able to sustain a 13-point lead over the Fighting Irish, who are at home. And, Mike, a surprising first half compared to what we would have expected coming into it.
Well, there was an over in the sports book of over 99.5 combined points, and there was some wagers placed on that. Some people taking a shot that maybe this is an all-out high-scoring game. I told you coming in that I thought this could be 1,000 combined passing yards and 100 combined points, and that's just not happening. Texas is doing their part for the most part, although they've only got 20 points of offense, but Notre Dame really just is not doing their part. They got the 1 interception. It was about the only bright spot on defense. They did shut down Texas a couple of times on their side of the field, but the offense for Notre Dame's really looked kind of uninspiring, and they're going to have to go into the halftime here and start figuring out something different, because you can't let Texas move the ball down the field, and you can't keep punting when you're on offense.
You look at the 2 offenses, and Mike, it's been very clear that this has been a aerial dynamic here, very much pass-oriented, and Texas very clearly dominating in that regard.
Well, we kind of knew that coming in. Both of these teams were heavy pass teams coming in. Notre Dame was 3rd in the league in passing. Texas was 1st. So you kind of expected it, but it just seems like the Texas defense was a little more prepared for it.
Texas going to open things up with the ball in their possession. And, Mike, we get another look at Clayton Denny, who is seeking his 3rd touchdown pass of the night.
Well, he's looked really good overall. He's made 1 mistake throwing that pass that Jackson Stone picked off, but you really can't fault him in that. That was good coverage as Walker gets stuffed.
Great run defense here by the Notre Dame side of things. Shoto Pence coming in with his 6th tackle and first tackle for a loss of the night. And, Mike, it's Texas continues to attack. What do you expect them to go to?
I think they're going to keep doing what we saw at the end of the first half. I think we might see a little bit more running like we are here, but I think they're going to try to put together long drives, chew up the clock, wear down the defense, and hope that their defense can keep Notre Dame off the board.
And Casolo coming up with his 5th tackle as Taraj Walker gets 5 yards on the play. And Texas converting on 3rd downs at a rate of 50% here tonight, as Clayton Denny will look to improve that here from the pistol. And Denny, quick throw left side, and it'll be interesting where they spot it. They're going to give it to Conley.
Well, Nighthawk said that Horns paid off the refs, and I think they definitely got a call there, because the way the reffing has gone all week, that was definitely short, but they gave him the first down, and Texas stays on the field.
Well, and that comment could have gone back to that catch earlier in the game by Lord Helix. Denny here for Taraj Walker, and he leads him out of bounds, loss of 4.
A little short pass there, and again, I think Texas is just going to play it safe and not take too many chances here, although you don't really like losing 4 on a check down.
Denny to throw, taking a shot, and that one thrown into the jerseys of white on the sideline. So now it's a long third down, and Mike, this is the spot that Notre Dame wanted to be in to open up the half.
Well, they did, and they got to convert, though. You got to make sure you don't give it away.
Denny throwing there. Scooby Lewis takes a hard shot from Alistair Jericho, only picking up 8 yards, but Texas will indeed punt.
One thing I want to point out is the record for pass attempts in a game is 73 by James Kovach against Texas with Florida State. And right now, Denny has 41 just a minute and a half into the second half.
That is a record he could break. And here's Dijon Swan trying to put on a little shake and bake on that punt return, but not getting a whole lot.
Well, that punt return does move Dijon Swan up the record board as far as all-time punt returns, as he is now 5th on the list in career punt return yardage.
That pass on the wheel route there from Asiata finds Gillum, and he'll pick up the first down. And you mentioned the accomplishments by Swan, and Asiata trying to come up with an accomplishment, of his own here tonight. The win, the comeback, but,
Oh, you really got to set me up better than that, David.
Sorry.
Yeah, I had no idea what was going on there. You set that up on the tee, but it was a basketball instead of a baseball, and I didn't know what to do with it.
False start here by the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and so they pick up the first down the previous play, and now they're moving backwards.
Yeah, Notre Dame been kind of shooting themselves in the foot. I mean, not really penalties or turnovers, but just a lot of little things that just are not allowing them to move the ball down the field and really make this the game that other people thought it would be.
Asiata quick throw, that's Gillum, but Mike, how much of this problem here is Asiata throwing short? How much of it is a problem that receivers are coming backwards for passes?
Well, I think you have to give credit to the Texas defense, as they're playing very good, but part of that is just on the play calling of Notre Dame, not finding the right routes to get open against what Texas is calling.
Another pass there, Gillum coming back for it. He'll pick up 4, but it's another long third down here for Notre Dame that Asiata desperately needs to convert.
When you're down by 13 at home against a conference rival like this, and you don't have a whole lot to look forward to, you look to your quarterback and you commend him on his hard counts.
Asiata, the gun, heels at the midfield strike. Throwing, there's a seam, Dexter Jackson, touchdown, Notre Dame.
Well, that was very well executed. I was a little nervous that Pearson Gillum wasn't going to come back and make that block, but great read there by Asiata, and despite how questionable we thought they played to this point, they're down by only 6 now.
So it only took them 4 plays, but as you said, all of a sudden, Notre Dame right back in the middle of it.
They are, and so they did what they needed to. They got the stop from Texas, and then they scored on their drive. So it's a ball game now, despite Texas looking like they were the better team. As we see on the last couple of drives, they got an interception and a couple of punts. So, and the 2 before that were field goals. So Notre Dame's done a lot better job of locking down on Texas. Now their offense seems to find a little bit of room. Well, we'll see if maybe we're seeing a change in momentum in this game.
Empty backfield, Denny to throw, pressure on his face, but he'll find Scooby Lewis on the check down, and he's able to pick up 7 after the catch.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the differences that we've seen with Clayton Denny versus a lot of other quarterbacks, is how he will sit in that to the very last second, and then he gets rid of the ball. A lot of guys take a sack there.
Denny to throw, pressure again, and the pass to Taraj Walker. A little check down there, but he will lose a yard. Zeus Williams coming downhill.
Yeah, not much to work with there. Denny checks it down, playing it safe, which is fine. But at this point now, you definitely need to try to move the ball and pick up the first down because you've given up 14 unanswered to Notre Dame, and you don't want to give them the ball back here with a little bit of momentum and give them an opportunity to take the lead.
Denny pumps left, and he will throw that one into his own sideline. Got a little crossed up, or maybe some form of miscommunication. Either way, it's a quick 3-and-out, Mike, for this Texas offense after they looked good early on. Well,
they did, and credit to Notre Dame's defense. They have made the right adjustments there. Now their offense needs to keep doing what they've been doing. As we mentioned, they got a 14-0 run here. They complete it here with another touchdown. They'll have their first lead of the game after being down 20-0.
They were slow out of the gate early on, and then getting the touchdown and the interception to end the first half. And now we see here they open things up by closing the gap, and Asaita trying to take the lead. As bouncing off the tackles out there is Dexter Jackson, who had the touchdown on the previous drive.
Well, now the Texas defense looking a little bit like that Notre Dame defense, missing tackles. They had two guys coming in there that missed that tackle. Pickle was in there along with Terrence Topp, and it took the third guy to bring him down. He's able to pick up 6. Texas is going to have to adjust what they're doing a little bit. They need to go back to making Asaita uncomfortable in the pocket.
Asaita from the gun. Read option keeper, Leo Asaita's got the first down, and he will fight his way down to the Texas 42.
Well, we saw that on the first play of the game, and maybe they got the look that they were hoping for, and they brought it back here, and it worked like they hoped.
Actually going to give him the 41 as Asaita floats that one, and very dangerously so, as it's intercepted by Tate there, and he will pick up a new set of downs for Texas. Actually, Randall Meeks.
Yeah, they were looking for Dijon Swan, and he had him. If he leads them a little bit further, that's 6. But Asaita floated that one a little bit, left it underneath, and Meeks picks it off. Great job there by the Texas defense. And now the pressure just goes back on to the Notre Dame D.
I always get Meeks mixed up with Ray Tate of Nebraska because they both wear 19. I don't know why I haven't gotten them sorted out. As Minka Solo forcing Ray Conley to have to sort out the birds around his head.
Are you colorblind, David? Because red and green, I guess, look the same if you're colorblind.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. I'm not colorblind. If that's, I don't know why. I just have them associated with being on the opposite team.
That's orange. Never mind. I was thinking I was wrong on that one. Orange and red, I guess.
Quick pass there, Lord Helix with a little shake and bake to get out to midfield. It's a gain of 17.
Well, Texas actually getting one of their longer plays of their last several drives. We see Denny 40 of 46, but only 288 yards. So he's been a little conservative with the way he's thrown, but he's also been playing with the lead this whole game. If Texas isn't able to score here, Notre Dame does go up. We'll see how that changes the play calling for Texas.
Well, that 17-yard pass is the longest that it has been for Texas in their last 5 drives. Is Denny to throw, dancing in the pocket off his back foot, and there to bat it away is Shoto Pence.
It's really not advisable. You don't want to be falling backwards, throwing up a pass. This isn't basketball, trying to shoot a fadeaway there. And Pence does a good job of knocking that one away.
Denny throwing short to the left sideline, and that one caught by Helix. He'll pick up 5, and so half the distance he had is Helix having a pretty good game himself here tonight.
Well, he had 100 in the first half, and they add a little bit more to him there. Texas, though, hasn't converted on their last 4 third downs.
Denny got tripped up on Taraj Walker, and that allowed the Notre Dame defense to get home as Denny just had to throw that in the dirt.
Yeah, the defense for Notre Dame has really stepped up, and the offense for Texas is wilting a little bit. They're definitely given an opportunity here to Notre Dame. We'll see if they can capitalize on it.
That punt hits at the 2 and then bounces through the back of the end zone. And Mike, Asaita has thrown 2 picks here already tonight, and that last one in particular by Randall Meeks likely cost Notre Dame the lead, at least on that drive.
Well, and typically when he throws a couple of interceptions, Notre Dame doesn't do well. Now, it's been a while since he's had multiple interceptions in his career, but if you go back To his last time, it was 4 picks against Clemson in a game they lost 38-3. The game before that, he threw 2 interceptions. They lost 31-13 to Ohio State. So they definitely, and then the game before that, he threw 2 against Ohio State and they lost 24-17. So Notre Dame really needs Asaita to do something that he hasn't traditionally done in his career.
And they're going away from Asaita, instead focusing on the running game with Caden St. III, as that is his second carry of the drive, and it goes for 12.
Well, it's not necessarily a bad thing to play a little bit of ball control at this stage of the game.
Asaita to throw, taking a shot to the left sideline, Dijon Swan, but he was out of bounds, and that brings us 2nd and 10.
Asaita's just a little off. We saw him leave a little bit too much air under that one that got picked off. This time he leads him a little bit too far to the outside. There's a moderate wind, 7-8 miles an hour, but that shouldn't be affecting him like this.
Asaita again, he drops that one in for Dexter Jackson, who advances it all the way down to the Texas 26.
For some reason, Dexter Jackson and Leah Asaita have developed much more chemistry than Asaita and Dijon Swan have. Jackson having a very nice game. You remember he missed the first 2 games of the season after a paperwork snafu, but he has definitely come on as one of the favorite receivers here for Asaita.
And Asaita and Swan were pretty well in sync against Oregon, as that pass is offline, and an errant throw there by Asaita brings us to 2nd and 10.
Well, we talked about Asaita and his interceptions. He had 13 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions in his last 3 games this year coming in. It's kind of turned that around this game.
Howard Cook getting through on the sack to put Asaita in a long 3rd down situation.
Well, here's the thing. You can move the ball all the way downfield and do great, but if you get down into field goal range and you take a sack, which you did there, which also Caden St. missed that block. Somebody needs to teach that young man how to stay in there and at least chip block that. But now you're in a situation where you might not even get a field goal out of this, which would really be disheartening after a pretty successful drive.
Gunther Poland has had his share of kicking struggles, and down goes Asaita again. This time it's a loss of 6 as Mike Merrill gets through to likely push him out of field goal range.
I think they're definitely out of field goal range now. Merrill does a good job. 7th sack already for this young man who joined the team late, and he's really making an impact. Comes up with a big sack there, and wow, they're still going to go for the field goal.
This would be a 57-yard field goal attempt in from the left hash from a left-footed kicker. And Poland's kick off the
crossbar.
Just short. And so the score remains the same with Notre Dame trailing by 6.
It had the distance. It bounces off the right upright and then off of the crossbar and out. It would have been 56. He had the leg, but 56 is not an easy field goal. And so no points there and an opportunity again for Texas.
And Denny, like over the last few drives, has looked very inconsistent, if you will.
Yeah, they have looked out of sorts a little bit. And I like what Squiddy said, double doink. We haven't seen that very often on that missed field goal.
It's very true. It's a rare occasion in the CFSL, as Denny able to complete that one to Lord Helix, which that is starting to look like a rare occasion over the last couple of drives.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that interception is playing more into their play calling than I thought, because they are playing quite conservative here recently.
Speed out, or triple option there, but reading it all the way with Zeus Williams, and that's a loss of 3, and another 3 and out put on by this Notre Dame defense.
Well, Zeus Williams had a little bit of a slow start to this game, but he's helping to make up for it there as he shuts down the triple option. Texas is going to have to punt again, and they can't keep giving opportunities like this to Notre Dame, because eventually they're going to capitalize on one.
This punt fielded by Swan from his own 20, and Dijon Swan will get out to his own 33-yard line. So, Mike, now we've kind of come to the point of the defensive stalemate. What does Asaita and Notre Dame have to do to break through again?
I think they got to put pressure on this defense deeper, not necessarily take one-on-one 50-50 balls, but they got to, kind of like here, send some deeper routes and open up some things under the middle that they can get 10, 15-yard gains out of.
That's exactly what they get there, a 15-yard play out of Alistair Kai on the catch and run. And, Mike, that was just a drag concept, wasn't it?
Yeah, it looked like just an underneath crossing route, but again, they cleared out the defenders with the deeper routes, and that's what they weren't doing earlier on. They were just throwing a lot of short stuff, and Texas was staying on top of it. Now they've threatened a little bit with some big plays, and Texas has to play deeper. That was ugly.
A shovel pass for the walk-on Jeremy Williams, and it will cost Notre Dame 5 yards.
Yeah, you got to throw that in the back of the playbook there, as that one could have been picked off there by the defensive lineman. Fortunately for them, it wasn't a turnover, but they did lose 5, which isn't ideal.
Long second down, Texas showing blitz, looking to force Asaita into a mistake with some pressure. It's Asaita to throw. In trouble, dancing, and he's still able to fire that one in. Pearson Gillum picking up 25. And that is how we end the third quarter. Texas up only by 6, and Notre Dame looking to change that. You're watching the CFSL on PX1 Sports on YouTube Live. Start of the fourth quarter in this one, and Asaita wide receiver screen nearly intercepted by Terrence Top.
Well, Terrence Top apparently has traded in interceptions for pass deflections this season, as that's his 5th of the season. Could have been a pick, but Notre Dame lives to fight another day.
Asaita to throw with time, and he's able to find Swan, who breaks one tackle and gets down to the 11. It's a 19-yard play there for Swan on only his 4th catch of the night.
Well, it was a little double move. He started outside, and then he just reversed course and left the defender in his dust. So a nice job there, and Asaita finds him. Notre Dame really wants a touchdown here. A field goal would be okay, but you can't expect that you're going to keep shutting down the offense. You really want to get a touchdown here.
All spotted at the 12. 2 tight ends on the field, and Asaita to throw, and he's going to flip it into the face mask of the walk-on to bring us to second down.
That was the walk-on tight end Derek Powell, and apparently he's too cold. He wanted to keep his hands down to his side, wouldn't raise his hands to catch that pass.
Let it bounce off his helmet, and Asaita coming back for Swan, who is able to reverse course and somehow pick up 3.
Well, and he's fighting hard, and that's the thing we've seen Swan do time and time again. If you want a guy to lead you to the promised land, you got to get that man involved.
It's 3rd and 7, though, for Notre Dame, and the first down that they need to get to is at the 2-yard line. They're going to run the draw, and Caden St. III is going to get back to the line of scrimmage and nothing more, as Jace Hawkins is there to stop him.
Yeah, I don't love that play call. I don't know if I love this one either. They're going for it here. Interesting decision.
Empty backfield. They just need to get down inside the 2. And Asaita going well short of that for Kai. He's pushed out of bounds at the 6, and Texas will take over.
Not quite sure what they were doing there. If you're going to go for it on 4th down, you needed to pick up more yards on 3rd down. You might as well take the field goal and only be down 3. I don't get that call.
Denny, quick throw to the middle, and that finds Scooby Lewis. It's a gain of 6 as Texas trying to avoid giving up a safety here.
Well, I don't think they're really in danger of that, but they are in danger of giving up really good field position if they don't get a few first downs.
Out to the 12. Denny, draw play of his own, and Taraj Walker's got the first down. That'll get him out of the red zone and out to the 21.
Well, in Texas right now, they can chew up some clock. Notre Dame hasn't been super productive throwing the ball around, so if they can get another first down or 2, flip the field position, and pin Notre Dame deep, you got to feel fairly good about your defense. Obviously, you want a field goal and make this a 9-point game, but the way your defense is playing, the way Notre Dame's struggling offensively, you got to feel like you're okay.
That pass caught by Ray Conley. It gets 8, and so, Mike, more of the same that we saw from Texas earlier, which it's the short dink and dunk method.
Well, and again, it hasn't been the sexiest play calling, but it's been fairly effective. You're nursing this lead. That one in traffic over Minnesota Pence knocking it away, but you're nursing the lead. The danger here, though, is if you don't give up the Spurs, it's still good field position for Notre Dame and a lot of time on it.
Georgia fan pointing out in chat that about 17,000 is going to be lost on the over here in terms of the point spread, as that pass caught by Ray Conley, and he'll get 8.
Well, once again, we see an excellent job there by Clayton Denny, standing in the pocket until the last possible second and then getting rid of that one, absorbing the hit and getting the first down.
Denny to throw again. Dancing, and that pass on the sideline. Lord Helix coming up and holding on for 15-yard play.
And he's got 12 catches for 159, so he's having himself a nice game out there. And I mentioned this earlier in the game. They've got a great group of receivers here at Texas. And right now, Denny and Helix are in a group together.
Clayton Denny, 56 pass attempts here tonight. Mike, you mentioned the record being 73, so not likely we're going to see that, although certainly possible with the time that is left. As Josh Walker, another pass attempt there, and that gets the first down.
Well, they're mixing it up. They're going to different receivers, and they're keeping this defense off balance, which is exactly what they want to do. They're eating up clock, and they're moving the ball down the field. I do want to tell this. Lord Helix is now tied his career high with 12 receptions, and he's only 7 yards away from tying his career high in receiving yards.
Lord Helix, top of your screen, but they're going to go with a bubble screen to the left side, and that one incomplete. Second down and 10. Denny up to 58 passes.
I don't think he's going to get the record. I wouldn't mind. Well, I was going to say I might see a run here after that bubble screen, but it looks like they're going to throw it again.
Backfield, Denny throwing it short, left side. That's Josh Walker, gets 9, and a very manageable third and a yard.
Well, again, the good thing about this drive for Texas is you're not only flip field position, but you're also taking a lot of time off the clock, and now you're in field goal range. So everything going about as well as playing for Texas right now.
Denny to throw, going to take off and run. Instead, he'll get the first down with a stiff arm to help him get inside the red zone.
Well, Denny's got a little bit of speed and athleticism, and he shows it off there. You don't see it very often from them, but he utilizes it there, get the first down. Texas in good shape here.
It's a full house and the handoff for Scooby Lewis to get the Texas offense down to the 10-yard line.
That's another thing you don't see very often either, is Scooby Lewis getting a handoff, but he gets it there in a nice 7-yard gain.
Brought him into the backfield for the pistol full house, and it pays off. As it's 2nd and 3, Denny to throw. With time and a quick throw, Scooby Lewis again, this time getting it down inside the 5-yard line.
In the back of your mind, you're kind of cheering for Lord Helix to get another catch instead of career high, aren't you?
A little bit. Kind of. Denny to throw here. Throwing back to the end zone, and that one through the back of the end zone. So it's 2nd and goal. And Mike, how fitting would it be if Lord Helix's career high is a touchdown catch?
Well, they got to try to punch it in. Right now, Notre Dame's doing a good job of playing defense here deep in the zone.
Denny to throw. Dancing to his left. Going to tuck it and run. Clayton Denny. Touchdown, Texas.
Minka Solo a little late on the reaction there, and I don't know what he was paying attention to. It looked like he was picking daisies out there and didn't pay attention to Clayton Denny coming around that corner. And Denny gets the touchdown. Now they're going to go for 2 and try to make this a 14-point game. And Notre Dame really looking up at it here.
Trying to put it out of reach halfway through the 4th quarter. It's Denny back to the end zone. Lord Helix converts.
Well, unfortunately, that's not going to go as a catch. That just goes as a 2-point conversion. So that does not affect the career total or the career high for Clayton, or for Lord Helix.
How disappointed do you think he is?
I don't know. I think I saw him in chat, so maybe he'll tell us.
Thanks. Is Dijon Swan visibly frustrated as he's forced to kneel that one?
Well, Notre Dame's going to need to move the ball down the field quickly here. And they're going to have to get away from their dink and dunk. They're going to have to find Dexter Jackson or even Dijon Swan on some deep routes.
They're going to throw it short instead. They're finding Pearson Gillum. And Mike, is that just a setup? Do you expect that to be a setup throw for one of those shots downfield?
No, Texas is too smart. They know they got to move the ball downfield. That's not going to convince them of anything. They'll let you do that all day long because it's going to take you a lot of plays to get down the field, moving the ball at 4 or 5 yards a clip.
Time continuing to run here is Notre Dame out to the 31. It's 2nd and 4. And Leo Asiata with 2 tight ends on the field. Looking to throw. It's only a 3-man rush, and Asiata with all day threaded that into double coverage, and Swan is able to hold on for 14 yards.
Well, they converted and get the first down, but again, how much time it took meant there was really good coverage, so Notre Dame's still not necessarily calling the right plays to attack this coverage.
Play fake, Asiata Taking a shot to the middle of the field, and diving for it was Jackson for the first down.
Well, kudos to Dexter Jackson. I mean, Asaita threw a pretty good pass there, threw it about the only place he could, and Jackson comes up with a heck of a catch.
Asaita to throw. Three-man rush. Trying to stand in once the end zone. That pass no! Terrence Top dropped it.
Like I said, Terrence Top has decided to completely forego interceptions in his senior season and turn them all into pass deflections.
It's his second one of the night as Asaita going short. Kane St. the third, going to make this a very manageable 3rd and 2.
Well, they're taking up a little bit of time here. It's not the worst thing in the world. They definitely need the touchdown, but the more time you take, the more likely you're going to have to kick an onside kick here, which aren't very high percentage.
We're wide. Speed option, Asaita breaking one. Finally tripping and somersaulting his way down to the 16-yard line.
Yeah, they're not getting a whole lot of great protection on the outside. Great impact blocking downfield here from their line.
Asaita to throw as they went no huddle. This pass back to the end zone, and a diving catch by Alistair Kai.
Well, you got to give it up to the Notre Dame receivers on that drive, as they really went all out to keep that drive alive. And Kai does it with maybe the best catch of the drive, diving at the back of the end zone, getting his feet down. Excellent grab there by Alistair Kai, who gets his 3rd touchdown of the season. And now we're probably going to have to see an onside kick, although I don't think it would be the worst thing in the world to kick it deep.
The extra point makes this a 7-point game, and as exciting as this game has been, we expect that the next game here tonight will be just as exciting between the Florida State Seminoles and the Florida Gators about 30 minutes after the conclusion of this one. As Mike, as you said, Notre Dame opting to kick it deep here, and Scooby Lewis will bring it out to the 27.
I think they have a better chance of getting a stop in decent field position here than they do of recovering an onside kick. So I think this is the right call, and they really need their defense to step up here.
So how do you step up in this spot, Mike? What do you draw up defensively to get that stop or to even generate a turnover?
Well, I think you force Texas to try to pass. They haven't been very adamant about throwing it deep, so I think you got to stack the box, maybe keep one guy deep, and force them to try to beat you throwing the ball, but it looks like they're going to play a soft box.
A wide handoff to Raj Walker, and Minka Solo got in the backfield trying to stop him, but Walker's still able to come up with 3 yards.
Well, it worked out for them. They held them to 3 yards, but I hate the alignment there. They're giving way too much up the middle. They at least got 8 guys in the box now.
Wide on the field, out the pistol. Walker getting the carry again, and he'll only get 4 yards this time. Notre Dame will take their first time out.
Well, he turned around Jerome Hawkins for a second, but it's 3rd and 2. It's going to be tough to get him off. Bring the blitz here.
Fighting Irish trying to get their home fans involved as Asaita to throw, and the blitz does come. But all night long, Clayton Denny has been able to stand in and deliver as he does there.
Well, they brought the blitz, and it's just a good job there. They ran the stick concept. They left, and Denny finds the one guy that's open.
Carson Meeks, the tight end, with a catch to convert, and Taraj Walker getting the carry out to the 41, and Notre Dame will take a timeout.
Well, it's their last timeout. They still get an opportunity to get the ball back, but they're really going to need to clamp down here. Forcing a turnover would be ideal.
Blitz coming. Read option keeper Clayton Denny gets dragged down, only picking up 3. And now, Mike, this 3rd down, this makes or breaks the game for Notre Dame.
Well, yeah, they have to get the stop here. If they do, they'll probably have about 20 or 30 seconds left to try to tie this one up, but they've got to start with the stop here.
Clayton Denny from the gun, 4 wide, draw play, Taraj Walker, not going to get there.
Well, Terry Top in chat saying good game. It might have done it a little bit too soon there as they get the stop, and now Notre Dame's going to have a shot at it.
Not going to be left a lot of time. Texas going to let clock run down, and Notre Dame only going to be left with 20 seconds. But, Mike, they've got the weapons. They just haven't taken a lot of shots downfield.
Well, Dexter Jackson's having a nice game, and we know Dijon Swan. We know what he's capable of. So they have an opportunity to try to tie this one up. We'll see what happens. There also might be a punt return here.
So as time hits, as the play clock hits 2 seconds, that is when this punt will be sent away, and Dijon Swan on the return gets out to the 25. So 14 seconds left for Leo Asaita to tie it up.
Well, you've got 2, maybe 3 plays, depending on how quickly we get this out. You can go over the middle as long as you get a first down and it stops the clock.
4 wide, Asaita to throw, 3-man rush. And a quick throw underneath for Kane St. the third. Not going to get the first down. It's only 5 yards.
Terrible decision to throw that, check that one down. Terrible decision for St. to move upfield. Now they got to go with a Hail Mary, and they're 70 yards away.
The question is whether or not Asaita has got that kind of an arm.
He does, actually. He's got a cannon, but Texas actually playing a little bit up more than you'd like to see.
Pressure coming. Asaita gets it off. Jump ball. And that pass incomplete. And Texas, for the first time in their shared history, is able to defeat the Notre Dame Fighting Irish 28-21.
Crazy game. Texas looked like they were going to run away with this for the whole first quarter. And then their offense stalled out. The Notre Dame defense adapted. Notre Dame's offense did just enough to get them back into it, but really couldn't capitalize in many opportunities there in the third and fourth quarter. And Texas holds on for the win, and now we got Florida State and Florida coming up, which should be another really compelling game in the SEC.
So that'll do it for us as part 2 of our Friday doubleheader is Florida State at Florida. That'll be coming up here in about 30 minutes as Texas gets to win over the Fighting Irish. For Mike, I'm David. We'll see you back here on YouTube Live.